let's wrap on when it was that we first and last connected, WBC 2020. So you talked about it a little bit, son. So people don't know this, but like when you were on the bus, in the hotel, or at the ballpark, it was just exuding confidence from Bruce Maxwell about Team Germany, just straight up. He was just like, yeah, I mean, we got France on Tuesday night, and we're going to beat the shit out of them, and we're going to win this whole thing. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, that's my guy. Obviously, it doesn't end up happening, but like some of the people that you connected with there, I know you mentioned a little earlier, LaTroy Hawkins, somebody you're cool with, obviously Julius.
Yeah, hell yeah, I had the confidence, bro. Like, because think about it, I was talking to LaTroy about this. When I played for them a couple years ago, everybody that we had was super young. Like, so the guys in the States that were like 19 years old, just got in a pro ball, the affiliated guys. And so now they're 24, 25 years old, you know, and they have more experience under their belt. We got guys that throw a little harder. They got better shit. We got better hitters. We got, you know, this and the other. I was like, hell yeah, I had utmost confidence. Oh, yeah. I was like, because these guys knew that I was when I was there, like we were going to put our best foot forward. Period. There's no exception, and everybody knew that though because everybody wanted to win. Everybody wanted to get to that classic, and you know, I don't know if we've ever done it before, but it was big time confidence, big time pride. End of the day, I was like, I wanted to hand Nicaragua an ass whooping from hell because
and they were the number
beat
one
us in extra.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And they beat us in the extras because we couldn't put any runs across the board last time. You know, I wanted to beat Brazil because one of my homies that played with me here in Mexico last year was their ace.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, I'm to the airport.
Yeah. So I was like, I wanted to whoop their ass just because he was on it. Like, just because I can give him shit about it because we're homies. But no, man, we were definitely a sleeper in that tournament, and I had ridiculous confidence. I was like, and so I was ready for whatever. You know, one of my former teammates, younger than me, but former in the Oakland organization, was a starting catcher for the France team, and you know, I told him, I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, the day it was like the first day of practice,
yes,
or whatever, because we got banged the next day.
Yes.
That first day of practice, we came home, and he was like, Bruce, what's going on, man? How are you? I was like, I just want to let you know on Friday, we're going to fuck y'all up.
Yeah, I'm getting in your ass.
Like, he was like, we'll see. He was like, we'll see. I was like, no. We're going to whoop y'all ass. I was like, I'm not playing with you. Right. And he was like, all right, we'll see. And it just shit like that, bro. I was like, we weren't the highest profile team, but we definitely had some shit. We definitely had some juice and some power in our team, and so I was stoked about that until we got banged.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know, you telling me, fam. I want to talk about just two more things. Obviously, WBC is just such a dope experience. I mean, you got to, you know, be a part of that last time, and then, I mean, us both fucking minuscule this past March. The World Baseball Classic. So for me, being on like I guess if you want to call it corporate side, right? Like I'm in that MLB office, and you know, we've had some really good conversations with WBC president, guys from international events and shit like that. Their difficulty is, I'm gonna give you some insight here. They're like, like it'd be dope if we could get some like big name guys, like, you know, for whatever, in maybe the qualifier, sure, but like in the actual event too, which I know Germany will fucking qualify for soon enough. Qualifier, sure, but for the World Baseball Classic, because you done been a part of it, and you've also can speak to the international experience of just how much pride that these fans bring. If you could talk to some of these MLB guys that kind of have shied away from the WBC about advocating for the WBC, participating in it, like what are some things that you'd be like, yo, like this is why you should?
Well, I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. So, seeing how the Classic usually happens in the springtime, a lot of big name guys don't participate because at the end of the day, it is just a qualifier.
That's right.
They will put it on the line when they get into the tournament. That's how it's always been, honestly. It's just like, you know, USA has so many choices, so it's different. But for the other countries and stuff, you don't. You know, you might not have, you know, guys that are, might have guys coming off injury. You might have guys that are competing for a spot. You might have in 15, 16, whenever that was.
Yep.
Kepler didn't come because Kepler was battling for a spot with the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, shit, I understood it, dude. I was going to AAA. Like, I knew it. So I was like, all right, whatever. But it's just like there's a certain type of risk that players go through when it comes to performing for a qualifier.
Right. Which
than it is getting that's what I'm saying. So it's like one of those things where they don't want to do it because they're in spring training getting ready for their season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if they do qualify, 99% of the time they will go play in that tournament. Because look how much pride. Look who came out for the U.S. team, the Dominican team, the Puerto Rican team, the Venezuelan team, all that stuff during the Classic.
It's lit,
bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's how the shit is. And so it's just different in the qualifier, bro, because the qualifier, that shit is just a qualifier.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this though too, down at the Dominican, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, all that stuff, they have enough players to give them a good enough opportunity to qualify without your David Ortiz's and your Eric Ibars and your Adrian Beltres and stuff. Yeah. So now when you get to the tournament, now those guys come out, you got some thump. Like, you got some fuego. Like, and so it's just different, bro. Like, it's just timing issue. Like, I feel like if that were to happen, like, well, it really can't happen any other time. But like, if that wasn't happening during like preparation season, I mean, I feel like it would be a little different. But also, what you don't realize is you have to get the okay from your team too.
Yep. There's
because
Philippines that I was like, oh, you better jump. Oh no, never mind. The front office said no.
Yeah, you have to get the okay, and if you got guys like your main guys, they'll be like, listen, you can go play in a tournament if your country qualifies, but you're not playing in qualifier.
Correct. Yep.
I mean, that's it. That's smart on their time part though too, because you're their investment.
Exactly. You got to protect your assets. So then to flip that question, then what are some of your like favorite parts of the WBC that you've experienced?
I mean, just honestly, dude, the clubhouse, the amount of people that you interact with. My first qualifier, I got to go around. That was the first time I been to Mexico. So I went out with a couple of guys in Mexico team, the national Mexican team, and guys that I know personally. But we went out to dinner and stuff, and they just kind of showed me around Mexicali, like I'd never been, and just to experience like the different groups of people. My German teammates that still live over in Germany, in Frankfurt, in Mannheim, and all these places. And then obviously on this year, like met some new guys, new faces. But this just to experience the different kind of cultures, even in a small sample size, was huge for me. It was the best part about it. But also, I mean, you go out there and you see, like, you see guys at, like, for example, like I, played with my 2-3 guys in Oakland's organization. But when you guys step on the field, he's in a Mexico jersey and you're in a Germany jersey. I'm in a Germany jersey, and to see us put on for our teams, bro, it's an experience that you'll never forget. You really won't. Like, it's
cool.
It's
well, I mean, it's got your jerseys at, like your Germany shit.
Oh, mine are at the house, dog. Like I got not a shrine, but I have all of my. Let's see. I have my Germany jerseys and stuff are at home with my mom. All of my big league jerseys that I've ever had, my college jersey. I mean, any type of jersey I have that's meaningful, it goes to my mom's house, and she puts it away, tucks it away. So when I do get my final house and stuff, then I'll basically put it like in my media room and stuff, and just venture it out. I have some of my Mexican jerseys from here, sitting right here actually. They're pretty good, man. But yeah, I keep all my shit. I give some to my family. I gave one of my big league jerseys to one of my homies. It's been ride or die since this early times, and so it's different, man. But I keep all my shit.
As you should, bro. I'm the same way for real. Even with like equipment, like all my past gamers and gloves and shit, like I still keep up there. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. How do you reach that though?
How do you reach that, dude? Just fucking reach up, dude. I have a fucking shoebox of a room. No, that's funny, man. Very last question for you, because this has been good. I mean, I've had a good time. I don't know about fucking you.
Oh yeah.
Last question for you, bro. This has been well documented. Um, Diversity in Major League Baseball or lack thereof, and everyone has, for a good reason, but lashed onto this important stat that there's only one black player in the 2020 World Series, Mookie Betts. I was asked this in an interview question. I forgot what it was that I was even interviewing for, and I think it was for MLB actually, like maybe 2 months ago. What can the league do to get more people of color? And that's a broad umbrella, but specifically within that, black players into the game. What can the league do to get more black players into the game?
I mean, first of all, they have to recruit more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I personally know some guys in the past and and present that a lot of them don't get looked at. You know, I do know that there's a lower amount of exposure in the inner cities,
That's a fact, bro.
and in the country just in general, for African American populations or minority populations.
Mm-hmm.
So there's less opportunity. And then at the same time, though, like these kids go to college, and then say they do get drafted, they don't get the same potential notoriety, even as well as they might play or not. But then there's like a perception of extra qualifications for minority players, African American players. It's a different scouting process. I'm a firm believer in it. I know it. I was part of it. But I just think honestly, we need to keep the faith. Like guys, like I'm not gonna say like me, but you, me, the older guys that are out of the game, maybe we need to help reinsure and reinstill that love that kids, especially in the inner cities, that have for the game of baseball, because it's very hard. I was talking to people about this before. It's very hard for inner city kids, African American kids, to look on TV and be encouraged when they don't see anybody that looks like them.
1,000%.
Latin dudes. Think about it. Latin dudes, they go back to their countries, and they build academies. They build
Mm-hmm.
this, but but you turn on TV, bro. You got a lot of Latin dudes on each team.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So it's hard for kids to be encouraged when they turn on TV and they don't see anybody that looks like them.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're in the inner city and you have volunteer coaches coming in and they don't look like you.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
And they're not from where they're from. They don't talk how we talk.
Yeah.
Get the vernacular.
Exactly. And it's not, and I'll say this, like, I know a lot of educated young black men, young black boys that love the game of baseball, but they get discouraged on a daily basis because nobody around them looks like you.
Big time. Big time. And
I mean, it's hard to do.
There was one thing that you said about just like continuing to encourage, the populations that we want to see in the game, be in the game. And I think that the two most direct ways are through dialogue and then investing in those communities. That's how I answer that question, that interview question.
100%.
Invest in those communities because, bro, how many times do you see a turf field pop up, ooh, super nice, in an inner city, and then fucking people playing soccer on it? It's like, fam, like, how am I supposed to, like, you know what I mean? So, again, like,
I mean, it's different, dude. And like for me, I didn't come from a very diverse area, and so like for me, my home is, I invest in, I will be obviously investing my time and resources as much as I can out in New York for the time being.
yes.
I invest out in San Diego. We have a nonprofit out there called the Lila Project. I'm a part of All-Star Advocacy that I'm a part of as well. One is directed towards the inner city groups, after school programs for underprivileged children, more so in the African American community than any. And then All-Star Advocacy is a company that we're together with that basically exposes and educates you on your registration, voting rights, your ballot preparation, understanding how easy and how accessible it is to vote, and how much your voice and your knowledge of your power of your voice is very crucial for your future.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do a lot of things between those two. We do a hell of a lot of things down in SoCal, and we continue to do so. But you know, I try to reach out. You know, I do stuff down here in the community down here in the Latin in the Hispanic culture. I try to do as much as I can, and then you know, now being a part of New York's team once again, and having family and friends up there. You know, I'd love to tap into the especially when COVID kicks off. I'd love to tap into the community a little more up there. You know, our AAA team is in Syracuse. Big league obviously is in New York or in Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I would love to be in the community, dude. Like, you know, I got one of my kids that plays at St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went up there the day before I left.
Yep.
Tyler Roche.
I saw that.
And you know, I went up there. Yeah, I went up there and just practiced with them a little bit. You know, talked to some kids, this, that, and the other. And they loved it. You know, the coach loved it. And I never met the dude before, but I reached out. But that's the type of shit that kids nowadays need. But it's all kids too.
Much,
bro.
I mean, at all ages.
It's just all kids, bro. Like, but yeah, dude, it's just to encourage these kids. Like, you know, you can do it. I luckily had my father that loved the game of baseball, even though he knew that nobody looked like me or us.
Mm-hmm.
But my father's love of baseball kept me encouraged. So it's like I try to share my love and what it's done for me to as many kids as possible, because at the end of the day, they might have a football-driven father or a basketball-driven father. Like, not everybody is grown up with the love of game baseball like, you know, my dad did or me. And so they need to hear that from somebody they respect and they look up to, because that's what, at the end of the day, when they run out of encouragement, that's what they're going to lean towards. So if they don't have it, then they're going to be like, you know what, let me go pick up a football. Fuck it. Like, and this game is amazing, dude. It's very difficult, but if you got the right support system, which is what I'm trying to be in the game of baseball for these kids that don't know where to turn, I'm right here, dude. Like, and I love to do it. I love to teach. I love to educate. I love to coach. And it's something that's passionate for me, and it's something that I love to do. So.
Yeah, bro. Both of those accounts that you mentioned, I mean, I came across them because you shared them. I follow both of those accounts. I love each of those missions. It's funny, like, this media account and this business, it was one thing, but it has sprouted into something a lot more broad, which is like video storytelling. But what I'm saying with that, what it was, that one thing, like on my fucking business card, like it literally says sports video highlights on the back. And the reason for that was that exactly what you were just talking about, like, oh, like, sports got to recruit here or there, or him or her of this color or that. Son, when I was fucking growing up, I didn't have money for these showcases. I didn't have money to go to Perfect Game or these baseball.
Dude, I didn't do any.
Exactly. Neither of us did. And I was like, bro, like, and I was thinking about this during quarantine, just about my path and my journey, the way that we just talked through yours. I was like, man, like, I'm grateful for where I've been and where I'm headed, but there was some fucking lack of resources and high barriers to entry along the way, like those expensive showcases or not having access to video or videographers. That's where this came up. That's where this was born. So it was dope of you to hop on for this. If you have any key takeaways or parting words, now's a good time for that.
I mean, even just touching on what you just said, dude, I never went to a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Never did one. Never did one. Never. It's not because I didn't have the money. It was because it wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I put in my work at practice. I put in my work before practice. I put my work in at the house. Sure. And I trusted what I was. And end of the day, like, I feel like a lot of people go to those showcases because they might not have the coaching or anything where they're at. Or they're, like we talked about the D1 thing, like, they're trying to go up because end of the day, and I have my personal opinion about the perfect game shit and all that stuff. I don't think it teaches people a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't think it teaches anybody a lot of things. It's just like, hey, Go over there and throw as hard as you can. It doesn't matter if it goes on the backstop. Go ahead. And then it's like, you know, your batting practice and stuff. Hey, just try to hit homers the whole time. Don't, you know, it's not beneficial to anybody. It's for popularity, pretty much.
Right.
But at the same time, it just depends on the player. So for me, it's just about knowing yourself. Take away knowing yourself and who you are and what kind of player you are. And when you're working, you know, work on your game. Don't work on somebody else's. Don't try to be like anybody else, because at the end of the day, you're not them.
Facts.
And at some point in time, if you're going to work on trying to be them, you're going to fail. And then you're going to, in that process, you're going to lose who you are.
Yeah.
So not only do you fail trying to be like them, you also fail yourself, because now you don't know who the hell you are anymore. And then you can go
like,
and kiss.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, hey, I appreciate this. Always, you know, family over everything.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you, Doug.
Yeah, man.